Okay, we promised this to you yesterday, and unfortunately we just couldn't get that link up and running to our guest in London. So we're bringing it to you today, but a different guest, thank goodness. Now, that theme song is over 15 years old, and back in the early 2000s, most children had their eyes glued to the television screens watching Pokémon. Pokémon Tazos were then launched into, or is it Tazos? Thank you. Into the market. But now, fast forward to present day, Pokémon has had its own evolution. Pokémon GO has become a craze worldwide, beating many apps on Android and Apple iStore to #1. For more on this, we're joined in the studio by gaming expert Zain Moosa. Zain, good to have you. Welcome to the program.
Morning. Thank you for having me.
All right. I was just saying that I honestly, I just suddenly saw Pokemon trending on Twitter, and it was like the biggest thing. And it was trending for days and days, and everybody's suddenly picking this up. And I had no idea what this was all about. So you were here to explain to me and a lot of other people, what is Pokemon GO?
Well, basically Pokemon GO is a location-based mobile augmented reality game where the players put in the real world to capture Pokemon. So basically, it finalizes that fantasy that people have had for the past 20 years to actually capture these pocket monsters in the real life world.
Okay, so you're running after, so you say it's very physical.
It is.
You're getting out there and you're running after these
Correct.
little, what are they? I mean, are they just please explain that.
So they're basically fantasy monsters that you can keep in your pocket. You catch them and battle each other to show off who's the best Pokemon master or Pokemon trainer in the world. Yeah, that's basically pocket monsters.
Now, the real sort of trick here is the fact that Pokemon GO is actually, it's not available in South Africa. And yet everybody's doing it because there's been some form of proxy that's been set up to allow people to do it. Correct. How is it working?
Well, basically someone's pulled the actual files from the Play Store, the Android Play Store, and have uploaded it to another website where users have been downloading it. The developer has said that they want people to delete the app and wait for it to be released in the country. However, Pokemon fans unfortunately can't wait. So we've been seeing reports from all over the world about the app being downloaded from this APK version of the game.
Yeah. So, is it so it's not dangerous to download it on your phone? I mean, it's not going to bring viruses about, or it's not going to do anything, I suppose, if the fact that it's not launched here in South Africa?
Well, there actually has been reports that there'll be malware attached to the APK version. There has been safe versions as well, but users have been warned to just be aware when you're downloading it from the APK version, to just make sure your security features on your phone is on and up to date.
Yeah, because that's the reality. It's your personal information that's at risk here.
Correct.
So, but how do we go about setting up the personal information that it's protected?
Well, the optimal decision for users would be to wait for it to be released in South Africa.
So that's the official word, is to wait for it. But you and I know that people are not waiting and they're doing it.
Unfortunately.
So how do we protect ourselves, like in terms of the personal information?
Well, once you download the APK version, it actually asks you to unlock your security features. So once you've downloaded it onto your phone, make sure that you go back into your security settings and activate it once again, just to be safe.
Okay, yes. And that's a definite precaution you have to
take.
Yes. Now, it's quite incredible that this game is not necessarily just being played by kids, because Pokemon, I'd always known it to be, a really a kiddie thing, but you're seeing adults and I suppose older guys taking to this and running around the city enjoying it. I
think it's the nostalgia, at the moment, because Pokemon is 20 years old. So the 90s generation grew up watching Pokemon, the anime, playing the Pokemon games. So in the fact that we can now actually catch Pokemon in real life, the nostalgia has brought all the 90s generation back onto Pokemon.
Yeah. Is it still sitting at #1 as the #1 download and bigger than you were telling me is bigger than Twitter at this point or something?
Yes, it's got more active users than Twitter at this point.
Oh
in
my
time.
Goodness!
Yes.
How many users is that?
I'm not actually sure.
But we're talking. Are we into the hundreds of millions?
Definitely. Definitely.
That's incredible.
Yes.
Look, I've been reading that it has. Why has it not been released in South Africa as yet?
The developer actually didn't expect the servers to be so overcrowded when they released it. So they actually released it originally in 3 countries. to test the servers and the server capacity. When the server crashed because the amount of users, they decided to upgrade their servers and only launch in the other countries once the servers had the capacity to hold the amount of users.
Yeah. Okay, so that's any word of when it is officially going to be released here in South Africa?
Unfortunately not. It's still 2016. We have had reports of the end of July. It has been released in over 26 European countries, as well as the United States, Australia and New Zealand, but nothing so far in South Africa.
Okay, okay. Suppose they don't realize how popular it is here, or maybe they do. But they just got to get it rolled out here.
Correct.
I mean, what does something like this mean for Nintendo?
Well, the game actually is developed by Niantic. Nintendo actually just has a share in the Pokémon franchise. So, however, having that said, Nintendo's shares has increased quite a large number in the last 2 weeks.
Yeah. Oh, and I can just imagine. I mean, it must be absolutely huge. I mean, there's talk about other companies, learning from this, buying into this, trying to learn some lessons and to gather something from this. And obviously, this is what people want these days. I mean, they want, as much as we all sit behind our phones, but you also, it's that idea of getting out, being active, that adventure side of things.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah. So is that the way things are moving?
It would seem that way with mobile gaming being so accessible by a lot of users. Mobile gaming seems to be, quite popular amongst not just casual gamers, hardcore gamers as well.
Yeah.
So mobile gaming seems to be the way to go.
Yeah. I was also unfortunately reading a couple of articles yesterday where they were just talking about the dangers of this Pokemon as well.
Yes.
Is that you've seen a lot of people being injured and going into places they shouldn't necessarily be, walking across roads. I mean, I know someone was saying they saw somebody running across a highway trying to find Pokemon. I mean, it has its dangers associated with it too.
Correct. Unfortunately, there has been incidents in United States as well where 2 gentlemen actually walked off a cliff while playing Pokemon.
Oh, you're going to be kidding me.
They have fortunately survived and in hospital. But the warning is just be aware of your surroundings at all times. You don't necessarily have to look at your phone to play the game.
Yeah.
The phone will alert you when there's a Pokemon nearby. So please just be aware of your surroundings at all times.
Zain, you have one thing that I can tell you, as I am not going to be... Are you playing it, by the way?
I am, yes.
And how many points do you have?
At the moment, I'm on level 12.
Is that good? How many levels are there?
We haven't accounted for how many levels there are yet.
So it's as high as you want it to be. You don't know yet.
Exactly. But the developer has announced that there will be regular updates coming in the future to add more features to the game as well.
Ha! All right, well, good luck.
Thank you.
Level 12 and a lot more levels to go.
Thank you.
I'm happy at level 0. It's fine. I'm okay with this. I really am. And I'm glad my kids are too young to know what this Pokemon's all about. Otherwise, I'll never find them. They'll be running around the neighborhood trying to find little monsters.
Yes.
What have we become? What have we become? Zain Moosa, thank you for talking to us. He's a gaming expert telling us about this Pokémon GO app, which is taking the world by craze. And South Africa is not immune to it. All right. Let's